Hey, good morning, everyone. RT Barry here, coming to you live from Hack Shack Studios. Hope you all are having a good morning. It's beautiful here. We had a crazy rain last night here at the Woodlands, Texas, but I actually like the rain. So does my wife. Before bed, we just kind of went out and stood in the rain. It was kind of like a baptism. Just a ton of water coming down on us. Arrow didn't like it. Arrow stayed underneath the enclosure, but we went out and it was fun. It was fun. There's something about like when it's kind of humid and the rain and then the breeze, like the air starts up and everything. It's kind of a good feeling. At least I like it. I also like when you get real like you're in a hot tub and then you jump into a cold pool and then you go back and forth. I like that. I actually went swimming in Lake Tahoe in the wintertime. Ha ha, take that, sucker. I actually like that type of extreme stuff. As long as I know I can get out of it, as long as I know I can get out of, it's not like it's going to be hours of it. I think that would be agonizing, but just kind of just a little back and forth, as long as you know that you can go into your comfort zone afterwards. It's all good. But yeah, you guys, over the weekend was a C2E2. I don't know. I'll get into it a little bit, but I want to say hi to everybody first and kind of settle in. But Jon Malin went to C2E2 just to hang out, and I think kind of a little bit to see what would happen. And man, this culture war is real, you guys. If you don't think it's real, it's real. It took me a while to really grasp it, and yeah, it's full on. It's really hard to believe for me. I still have moments of like, yeah, this is really happening, and there's moments that it's so incredible. It's hard to there's a lot of disbelief. I've been on this earth for quite a long time, and I've never seen anything quite like it. So let's say hi to everybody. We've got Leg Kick 1. What's up? We've got Past Master shared. Thank you. If you guys could share this out, I want to start streaming more and get some more eyes on things. When I was finishing up Black and White Volume 2, Man vs. Machine, I took a little bit of a hiatus to get things done. I did not want to, but I did. And I believe I was still doing probably about 6 or 7 hours worth of live streaming a week. But we all know that it takes a lot more than that to keep you guys satisfied. Let's just put it that way. Let's see what Past Masters. When all the leaves are brown, the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. And the sky is gray. I left California for a better day. Here in Woodlands, Texas. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, after it rains here, you guys, oh my God. I mean, anywhere after it rains, it feels like everything's been cleaned. But it is a beautiful, beautiful morning out there. Hello, Art. Hello, everyone. Pedro Eng, what's up, my friend? Brilliant artist, Pedro Eng. Let's see, Leg Kick. Oh, we're already getting into the Jon stuff. Jon got pulled aside by security at C2E2, but he handled it very well. Those guards were not sure what to do exactly. We shall overcome. Yeah. It's weird, man. When it got called a culture war, I was like, because I'm so used to everybody exaggerating everything. Oh, it's like it's a war. It's a war against like drugs. It's a war against this. It's just so overused. And then when you see like culture war, and then you kind of like I fought it. I really did. I was like, oh, it's just somebody just overblowing another thing. And then it's like, well, no, it's real. It is real. And we're going to get into that. I cannot even begin to say this. Squibs is a squib is like something that you put in, like it's a special effect, right? Like in Hollywood, Like that's like they put a squib and then that's what like the explosion and then there's like blood in it. So it makes it look like you got shot. Those things are pretty damn dangerous. I think when they put them on human bodies, they have like some kind of like metal backing on the skin just in case. I guess it blows the other way instead of out. Pretty cool, man. Squibs. Let's see, Tree Goblin. We got a pretty good full house here, you guys. Yeah, and if you could give a shout out, tweet out, let people know that I'm live streaming right now. It does help. Tree Goblin HD. Didn't John know you can't film in Artist Alley? What? Is that why you think he got asked to leave? I didn't see him in Artist Alley. I don't know. I don't know where he was actually. Let's see, Normie Nerd. Good morning, Art. Sorry to say my layout original pages still haven't shown up. Oh, I thought Pamela sent you another one. Let me. Well, you know what? Contact me because I don't think Normie Nerd is your backing name. So yes, send me something somehow like through private message or whatever, or through Indiegogo, and let us know again. And if we haven't sent that out, we'll do that soon. Because I remember Pamela bringing something like that up, and I thought she had sent something out, but it's no problem. You'll get yours. Quite a long time, yes, indeedy do. Kino reviews. Hail! All hail to the Lord of the Rings for the magic and mystery it brings. Pop references. I inspire. Pedro says, we shall overcome. I ain't marching again ever. Yeah. John Rosa Parks Malin. A little firecracker that goes whoosh. Yep. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so that is what a squib is. Special effect. He was reported by one of the organizers. That's what I understand. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And you guys live by Leg Kick's example. Share your stream. Let's see what Squib says now that I know how to say it. He didn't go in the no camera zone. He only showed the sign that said no camera zone. The organizers were looking for him. That's what it looked like. I got the video, and we could play it so you guys could have a little bit of reference if you don't know the story. Aloha. Hey, Joe. What's up, man? Thanks. All right. Hey, no problem, man. We aim to please here at Hack Shack Studios. Yeah, you guys, you know, CG, give a little backstory, is a creator haven. It is a movement. I guess it's always tough to try to put a label on what it is, because what CG is it's hard to define because it's a lot of different things. But mainly it's an artist safe haven. It's freedom. It's freedom for people like me to take their ideas and manifest them with the help of supporters and supporters like you guys. So some of you, like I asked you, and Past Master was saying, tweet out, share. That is part of it. Backing our projects, that's part of it. And it is a bit of like it's being exiled from comics, like having comics not really speak to us anymore. It's like, I don't know who these comic books are being made for these days, to be honest. I don't think the publishers do, but they're making books that really, they aren't our cup of tea, just put it kindly. And so bunch of creators like myself came in, united under CG, ComicsGate, and decided we were going to entertain the masses as best we could with our properties. And 4 or 5 years later, look at you guys. Look at how strong we are right now. I mean, we got thousands and thousands of people. watching our YouTubes, well, not my YouTube, but some people's YouTubes, and backing our books, and that's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And CG, it stands for ComicsGate, and that was a derogatory term, if I understand, a derogatory term for us. So it was a label that was thrust upon us by the cancel culture. So I guess if it has gate in it, it's negative, like Gamergate, whatever. And so there's a group of people that decided they were going to police whatever industry, like that was video games. This is comic books. I don't know who the heck these people are. I don't know. I kind of want to know just so I can identify, like, I guess, the potential enemy. But other than that, I really don't. I don't really care for them. I don't really relate to what they're doing or what they say. Some of the problem is I still have kind of one foot in this world and one foot in this other world, right? So I have friends that I think are still friends, acquaintances, people I've worked with for 40 years in the comics industry, that I don't know if they approve of me or not. You know what I mean? Like it's a day by day, case by case basis. So you start talking to somebody or you associate with somebody, and then you realize where you stand, you know, and the ones that are really involved with this cancel culture and want to, I don't know, just eliminate ComicsGate, anybody that's conservative, anybody that, I don't know, voted for Donald Trump, any of this stuff, they want to eradicate. They want to completely get rid of. And really, when I say get rid of, I mean they want to take everything away from you. They want to take your livelihood away. They want to take your books away. They want to take all this stuff away. And so when I say ComicsGate is a safe haven, it's a place that people that have been canceled or potentially may get canceled because of points of view can come here and create it. For the most part, it's a non-judgmental space. I don't really care if a progressive is in here or a conservative is in here or anyone in between, as long as we can all get along. And there used to be a semblance of that. You know, you didn't really seek out information that you could use against somebody. Like, that's just not the way the world used to work. You just got along the best you could. There were always personality conflicts and things like that. I was talking to Pamela today, and that's what she was saying. She was saying, like, there's always been people that don't get along. The world has always had that. But the way the world used to work is you would kind of, I don't know, you would coexist. You'd figure out a way to coexist, right? You didn't try to destroy them. You didn't try to hurt. I guess some people did, but not to the extent that it is now. And not to the point of like destruction. When I say this, I mean they want to take your livelihood away. They want you to be destitute. I don't know, even possibly, gone permanently. I don't think they would shed a tear. And it's something, like I said, I cannot relate to at all. And my wife said, she said, this has always existed. People don't get along, but somehow they always figured out a way around it. Either you stay away from those people, or if you still have to work with them, you just make the best of it. And I've been in situations like that, non-political, just where you didn't get along. You didn't get along with somebody you were working with on the book. And guess what? You just kind of keep it to yourself and you make the best of the situation and you get the work done. That's it. That's it, man. But there's a group of people that they seek it out. They seek out, like, well, who did you vote for? Like I've been asked that on like threads and stuff that I've commented. It's like, oh, well, you're a Trump supporter. Oh, who did you vote for? So they want to know. If you say I voted for Donald Trump, then they know that they can automatically hate you. What the hell is that? right? Like just based on a political leaning or somebody you voted for, that's all they need to know about you, and then they can despise you. They can hate you. They can try to hurt you. When was this ever acceptable behavior? When? I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to go touch base. Art Fact Woo. Good morning, Aunt Pam. Yeah, she's at a church. She does these Bible study classes with the church. And as far as I'm concerned, she could teach those classes. She knows that stuff, but like the back of her hand. ComicsGate is a gateway to adventure for artists and creators that still have ideas. Yeah, and it's freedom. For me, it's freedom. Richard Dupe says, "Art Dupe." Torch Bearer Studios, Morning Art Hell Chat. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of me kind of, pontificating, getting up on my soapbox. But you know what? Every once in a while, I think it's good. I think it gives you guys a place to vent. It definitely gives me a place to vent, and then I can move forward again. What is that? Anti-entity. Approval is not required or desired. Yeah, yeah. Are you being entertained? They only know how to destroy. They have a hard time trying to create. It's weird because, not to contradict you, but a lot of these people are creators. They're creatives. I don't know if they know how to create quite the way we are, because we're doing everything. Writing, pencil, inking, sometimes coloring. We're doing all the promotion. We're doing everything that a publishing company would do. So I'm not sure that they could do all those things, because I think that takes a special type of person. You have to be motivated beyond just, like, here's a job, here's a deadline kind of thing. So let's see, Intergalactic Pro. EVS is doing an art sale plus closeout for the C2E2 con covers this Saturday, the 4th. Oh, cool, cool. Man, we're almost done with this month. It's crazy. Sorry, not a Borg. Not yet. Lark Bark says, morning, everyone. Yeah, we're still getting some people in here. This is cool. I don't read whatever language that is. Baltan, is that Sajin? Baltan Sajin. I am sorry. They only create through ideology and spite. Wasn't always that way, but one could make that claim now. I have contacted C2E2 to see if they have a press release or statement on what happened with Jon. Nothing but crickets so far. That's good. Hold them accountable. But I think that's enough kind of backstory on CG. So CG in a nutshell is kind of direct to consumer, creators that have a direct line with consumers. And so the only reason we're here, the only reason we're able to create is because of the support that you guys give to us. And that cannot ever be understated. I mean, this is really just a safe haven for people. And if there's anybody listening that is on the fence, man, just reach out and make some contact. Most of the time, we're going to try to discourage you from coming, but we're going to ask you all those questions to try to discourage you. And if you still want to come in, because it's not always easy to be ComicsGate. I do not look for drama. I only have so much energy every day, and all that energy I try to put into my my comic books and hanging out with you guys. So just a positive thing. But so the backstory of C2E2, just real quick, is that there were 3 CG creators that wanted to have, I guess, like 3 booths that were close together, kind of on an aisle. and display their wares. Just basically do what everybody else does at a convention, a comic convention, right? And so it was Jon Malin, it was Shane Davis, and it was Ethan Van Sciver. Those three were going to set up and just, I think, part to kind of see what the temperature is like out there, right? Because, you know, we kind of speculate on the tension. We speculate that, you know, if we ever went somewhere that we would be ostracized or asked to leave, or it would be real hard for us to go. And so I think part of it was them, because there is kind of, it's kind of a curiosity that you want to see if it's real, because like I started, like, it seems so unreal that people could be like this. It boggles my mind. But if you look throughout history, you see it, the witch hunts, you see, not to compare this to, like, I mean, that stuff was really horrific. This is not that. I mean, it's definitely scaled down, but if it could catch fire, no pun intended, then who knows what could happen, right? If things get out of control, who knows what could happen? But it's definitely along those lines, where there's a group that hates another group to the point of not just coexisting and ignoring, but trying to hurt and trying to destroy. So these three guys just wanted to go to convention. Like I said, maybe a little bit of curiosity, but mainly just to go and entertain the masses, just to do a convention. We all used to do them before, you know, C2E2, New York, San Diego Comic-Con. I've done all those shows, you know, so I feel like I have a stake in it. I've got 40 years logged in this fucking business, right? So if I wanted to go to C2E2, I should be allowed to go to C2E2. Ethan Van Sciver, the same thing. Shane Davis, Jon Malin, they've all done considerable works in this industry. These are credits, these are works that you cannot take away from them. They would love to, but you can't. They have contributed to this industry. They are artists. They are contributors. They were in the trenches. They were sweating the deadlines. They were trying to do the best work they could. And they did. And they entertained the masses for Marvel and DC mainly. Some of them, you know, maybe Image, Dark Horse. And that's it, right? They went out there. They entertained. They made good comic books. They got along. Okay, so then all of a sudden, you know, smash cut to cancel culture. Smash cut to, you know, I don't know, Donald Trump. Everybody loses their minds, right? And so then all of a sudden, the industry finds out that certain people are certain leanings, right? And so then they think, well, we can't get along anymore because of that. But I just want to stress, they made the distinction. Whoever these people are, they made the distinction. We did not. We did not say we hate anybody that doesn't like Donald Trump. We hate everybody that loves, you know, progressive or is progressive. We didn't say anything like that. It was purely defense. It was purely to try to coexist. It was purely to try to not be silenced. It was purely just to still fight to exist, right? To have a voice. That's why there's pushback from us, right? And I just want to stress too, I was never asked to leave. I was never canceled by DC. I got canceled by Marvel, but it was under different circumstances. But I left DC. I left DC to be here. To be here. It was a decision I made. It wasn't something thrust upon me. It wasn't like I had nowhere else to go. I was working on a top 5 book. I was working on Super Sons at DC Comics. I had no reason to think that I wasn't going to continue to work there on top books. There was no reason to think that, right? I always kept my politics close to the vest. My parents raised me sex, politics, religion. Just don't talk about those things and you'll be okay, right? But this stuff is like now forced upon you. Who is like a sports team? Who do you like? Who do you not like? And if you don't like the same people, then all of a sudden, you're the bad guy. But anyways, these guys decided that they were, I wanted to tell this little story. Okay. Then I'll cut back to, Ethan, John, and Shane at the Comic-Con. But this is a nice little tangent. Okay. So I'm in California. Excuse me. I've been in this house in California for like 25 years. I had a neighbor home. I was the original owner of this house. I bought this thing brand new, right? I was in this neighborhood, and there was only me and one other person that was original to the neighborhood. From the beginning, we were there. Okay, so the house next door had sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. This was the 6th owner in 25 years for this house, right? So I got along with all of the neighbors up to this point. 5, right? This guy moves in, Dave and Wendy. And so all he does is complain, like from the get-go, like we were on a hill. In Southern California, in the middle of the summer, he's complaining that my water is running off into his yard. My water is watering his yard, and he's complaining about it, right? Okay, so I put in some French drains, right? I put in some kind of water catch system so I don't water his yard. Oh, that's horrible, right? So I'm trying to accommodate the guy. The guy's complaining about the air conditioning, in the summertime. It's so expensive. This guy's a grump, right? Older than me. And so then he starts contesting the property line. Okay, nobody's done this before. Nobody's done this prior, right? So he goes, this little mark on the curb right here, this is a property line. You are over into my property by, I think, 4 feet. 4 feet. And maybe 4 feet by, I don't know, 15 feet. Because it narrowed as it went along. Okay, so basically a sliver, like a piece of pie, right? So this is his land. It starts from the front, and then it tapers as it goes into the back. Well, I have hardscape. I spent tens of thousands of dollars making a beautiful, beautiful yard, right? Walls, everything. And so then he's like, you're in my land. And so then I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? He's like, well, I want my land. And I'm like, well, you furnish proof that it's your land, and then we'll talk. And so this guy was some kind of construction guy. So he already knew the laws. He could stake claim to the land, and then the burden of proof is on the person that, like me, the person that has the land, right? So keep in mind, 25 years since these houses were built, I've been there, right? Never a problem. So then I try to work it out with this guy, right? It's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. He's not going to budge. So then I thought I'd take the high road. So we wrote a nice letter. We put it in the mailbox, and we invited them over for like lunch, just to talk it out like civilized human beings, right? So we had them over. We fed them, and we're talking, not really getting anywhere with the guy. So he gets up at some point, I forget, go to the bathroom or something. And so Wendy, his wife, she turns to me, and she, very, very sincere, she says, we don't want any trouble. She says to me with all the sincerity in the world, we don't want any trouble. And then I said, then stop. Then stop doing what you're doing, and we won't have any trouble. We've been here for 25 years. There's never been a problem. This part that you're talking about that you want, it is fully maintained by me, and there's beautiful hardscape here. What you're asking is this stuff to be torn out, and then for you to do whatever you want. And I said, you're the aggressors. And then she was just like, she couldn't comprehend. So the reason I'm telling this story is because this is kind of what's happening here, where they say they're on the right side of history, right? They're on the right side of history. We're wrong. So by defending ourselves, they're taking that as aggression. Defending yourself is aggression. So to Wendy, I was at fault. I was the problem. They weren't the problem. I was the problem because I wouldn't let them take my land. Right? Crazy. Insane, right? So then I told them I got some research. Because I couldn't afford to get it costs tens of thousands of dollars to get your land evaluated. That's why they did it too, because they knew I wasn't going to spend that kind of money, right? So then, but we did get some elevations. We got some proof, and we furnished it to him, but he discounted it. He didn't care, right? So the next thing I know, well, this meeting didn't go good. Next thing I know, he's got construction guys out there tearing shit up, tearing my land, my hardscape, my stuff up, right? What am I going to do? I contacted the city. I contacted everybody I could, and they said, this is what he can do. He can do this, right? So then he does it. And you know what he did? We had all this plant. We had grass. We had all this stuff here. You know what he did? He ripped it all up, and he put rock down. Just a bunch of gravel on the ground. That's all he did. That's all he did. He fought for this beautiful little rectangle, this little triangle of land. He fought so hard to maintain, and then he just put gravel on there. That's the moral of the story. Some people are just like this. You can't reason with them. You can't talk to them. None of this matters to them. He let this thing be destroyed so he could have his way. That was it. That's all there was. The only thing I could assess from it is that this guy was a complete a-hole, and he couldn't see the beauty that was there. Also, I was maintaining that. I was watering that. I was mowing it. I was weeding it. I was doing all those things, and it was gorgeous. But he just wanted that piece of land. So he forcibly took it, and I moved away. I didn't move away because of that, but I moved away partially because of that. And there are just people like that. So smash cut C2E2, right? There are people that just can't, they can't comprehend, they can't, they're not okay with it. They're just not okay with it. There's no real reason. What I mean by like reason, like you can't reason with them. You can't talk to them because it's not a reasonable response. They're not reasonable people. You can't talk to them. They will never comprehend what you're saying. It's just what they want, and that's it, right? So I don't know what it'd take to convince people like that. I don't know what it would. I mean, I think the only thing this guy would have fully respected is either if I spent the tens of thousands of dollars and proved my point and had a judge, whatever, or I just put a gun to his head and said, hey, listen, man, you're not taking this fucking land. This is my land. Also, there's a law that I think if you're in the residence for over 20 years or something like that, that no matter what, from the builder, the builder is the one that determined the property line. I didn't. That it's your land. It's your land. But like I said, we tried everything. And then on top of that, the last thing he said to me is he said, you fucking stay away from me, you stay away from my wife, and you stay away from my kid. And if I ever see you on my land, he goes, that's it. That's it. And I was like, whoa, okay, all right. All this conversation has been for nothing. You made up your mind from the very get-go. I don't know why you were placating me, but you did. So just BS, just BS. So Ethan, Shane, and John get a table at C2E2, and then weeks before the show starts, they get a notice that they can't have the tables. They've been canceled. I don't know if they got their money back. I don't know, but the thing is, these things aren't easy. There's planning. There's weeks, months in planning, right? So there's getting booth stuff ready. There's figuring out how to get all that stuff there. They don't live in Chicago. There's trying to get a hotel. There's money spent on flights, hotel, the tables, entrance fees, all of these things, right? So I assume they did all of the stuff to go to the show. And so then the show decides, for whatever reason, they're not welcome. Then what? Okay, what do? Just accept it? This is a con that's supposed to be open to all creatives, right? What did they do that was so horrible that they couldn't sit at a convention, sign the books that they've done? And I'm sure there won't just be their CG books. These, like I said, they have a considerable history in the comics industry, Marvel, DC. Like maybe there are people that are fans of those books that want them signed. Those are people that now won't get their books signed. Maybe there are some people that heard that they were going to be at the show that just went to the show to see them. There are those people. I've done that stuff before. So those people, who cares? Who cares about, who cares about the fans of those titles, of those artists? And who cares about those creative people, right? For what? What was your reason? What was your excuse? Why did you do this? Because they're conservative? Because they voted for somebody you don't like? What the fuck is that? It's insanity. It's clear insanity. I don't want to understate or overstate any of this stuff. This is something I can't comprehend. I don't really fully want to comprehend, because then that would mean on some level I was like that. I don't understand that level of vindictiveness. I don't understand that level of hatred. And these are the people that are they say that we embrace differences. We like diversity. We like all these things. But you don't. You like diversity and you like this stuff as long as it still fits all your check boxes. As soon as that one check box isn't checked, which is, I don't know, you're a conservative, or you're conservative leaning, or maybe you're a Democrat that voted for Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say I'm a Democrat now, but I'm just like, I vote my conscience, right? But I would definitely say that I am way more right-leaning than left at this moment in time, just because I don't even know what the other party stands for. I don't know what they are. They're really evil, and they're horrible people. Anybody that's going to take it to this extent, I'm not saying all Democrats, but definitely the progressive ones, the ones that are have this ideology. It's like their way, no matter what. It's like my neighbor or ex-neighbor Dave and his lovely wife Wendy, who could not comprehend that I was being such an asshole, even though they were being the assholes. And that's the bottom line. These guys think they're the heroes, right? They're the good people, and then anybody else that defends themselves are the horrible people. I'm going to play a little bit of this video. It's actually when you see it, it's real, right? It's tangible. It's not just talk. It's not just a YouTuber. This is real.
Nice convention. This is my first time at C2E2.
So this is Jon Malin at C2E2. This is all edited too. This is
I'm gonna take a walk. We're just gonna keep walking. Where are you? Hey, how's it going? Look, I got the whole crew here. Did Christina send you? Hey, I'm walking out. If you're gonna threaten me, then let's just do it. Oh, don't take it as a threat. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm doing great, man. How are you doing? Right, I heard you. I'm going to the exit here, guys. You guys know why you're escorting me out? Right. But I didn't violate any code of conduct. I'm a conservative. Yeah, so my conservative beliefs is why I violated. So I'm a Trump supporter. Yeah. So that I just so you guys know what's going on.
If John's trying to educate them, this thing is way more complicated than you could ever educate security. But for some reason, I think John's sincerity and everything and his cool head, he's getting through to this guy.
I'm not a criminal, right? Okay. So, all right. Yeah, we got a booth here, spent thousands of dollars on it. Then they decided that we violated their code of conduct 5 weeks before today. Yeah, they stalked my social media. Isn't that crazy? I don't think it is, man. I don't think that's the way it's worked. Being a Trump supporter shouldn't be a reason not to set up at a comic book convention, especially when I'm a comic book artist. I work at Marvel.
Yeah, see, so he's really trying to appeal to this guy, John, I don't know how, but he's really keeping his head. I don't think I could do that. Once the buttons are pushed, I have a hard time disengaging. But John's making a good point. He's getting through to this guy, which is amazing because I don't know. I mean, the security are just kind of thrown into this situation. They really don't have any idea of what's going on. I did see an Artist Alley sign, and they said there's no videotaping in Artist Alley. But the thing is, if there's no videotaping in Artist Alley and the security care and they're doing their job, they would just come up and say, you can't videotape in this area. They wouldn't escort you out. So maybe it is a violation of conduct, but how many people know that? How many people going to a convention read this? I'm not even sure it's a fact because I've seen people at almost every show I've ever gone videotape or take pictures. I've had them videotape and take pictures of me. So I'm not sure that this is even a real rule. Somebody just said it. I saw maybe in the chat or on somebody's social media, but still, that's not really a reason to be escorted out. If it is a violation and they're really concerned about it, which they're not, then you just ask the person to stop videotaping and explain why.
See what I'm saying? I'm an industry professional, not some random. You know what I mean? So that's what they did. It's called cancel culture. We had a comic.
Yeah, he said that he's not some rando. He's a comic creator. He's worked for Marvel in the past. So then I don't know, whoever edited this, put this together, has escorted here.
He just got canceled 5 weeks ago. He killed himself because I've already been canceled by people like this. The same reason I can't set up here. These are all the guys that support me. So I literally got to keep them connected because they know what happened. So they knew that I was making a statement by being.
So he's explaining why he's videotaping. He's videotaping for your behalf so that we all understand what's going on.
And the statement was that no, there's no riot. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that I'm here. There's no one freaking out or feeling unsafe that I'm here. But my booth is removed. We paid thousands.
This is the beard cam.
Of dollars for it. We're comic book professionals. Everyone's worried that I'm going to walk that door and it's going down somehow. But this is cancel culture in action. You guys say that we're okay to go to a convention and set up, or when we try to attend as a guest in the comic book industry, you get vilified for being a Trump supporter. You get escorted out of the industry because a comic book artist at a comic book convention makes people feel unsafe. Imagine that. We're the following orders. This is what happens when cancel culture kicks in and they see people trying to.
I like that just following orders for some reason always for some reason is an okay excuse, right? We're just following orders. What did they ask them to beat up John? What did they ask him to kill John? Like they're giving you orders. Is that what you're going to do? I have my orders. It's like when friends say they screw you in a business transaction. They go, "Hey, it's just business." No, you fucked me over. It's not just business. Oh, it's just business. Hey, I've known you for 25 years. It's just business. You just fucked me over. I've had professionals do that. Hey, it's just business. So I guess friendship has nothing to do with when it's business. You're free to do whatever you have to do. I don't like those kind of excuses. I think they're BS.
So comic book artists can't make a living. You know what I mean? This is how we make our money.
I hope you guys can hear this because the audio, let me see if I can turn it up. The audio is not great, but he's talking about trying to make a living as an artist. And one of the ways is doing these conventions.
Like it's spreading all over, but that's how they do. They cut us off from our income. We're being Trump supporters.
So he's explaining cancel culture to these guys that, he's an artist trying to make a living and that cancel culture isn't happy with just, whatever. They want blood. They want you to hurt. They want you to disappear.
You conservatives. We don't like that. We believe a man is a man and a woman is a woman. And a man should not enter a women's bathroom or engage in a women's sport. And that's why I'm not allowed to. Even though there is zero intention to bring any of these politics to the floor, it's just a political kill. I'm sorry?
My name is Frank here. I'm going to meet. All right. So I don't see any problems, any issues. You're not causing any problem, no harm, no foul. I don't see anything that's going on. You want to enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself. If things change, obviously I don't see you causing an issue.
Okay.
If there's any kind of disruption, then we'll deal with it.
I have no intention to disrupt.
I don't get the impression this is exactly what you said. Appreciate you waiting for it.
No problem.
Enjoy the show.
Okay. So we have the green, like Christina Rogers said we're cool, or
I don't know who even that is.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll tell you
All right. I didn't know if another security guy or team was going to come up in 10 minutes. So, okay.
I'm telling you right now, I'll take responsibility for it.
Frank, was it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Frank.
Wow. Okay. So these guys pleaded Jon Malin's case to somebody that's sane, that's running this show, and they gave the green light so Jon could stay. All right, you guys. This is absolutely phenomenal. This is a win. And if Jon never went to the show, never did this, we wouldn't have this. I don't know. I don't want to make it seem like a sports team, like, oh, this victory or whatever. But this is a good thing. This is sometimes like freedom. You have to stand up. You have to fight for it. And this is what it looks like, And Jon kept his head. And these guys, related to that. The guy went and talked to his superiors, and Jon got the green light to hang out at the show.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Thank you guys for being cool. Appreciate you guys. Have a great one. Look at that. We're back in it. We won. Hell yeah. That's a fucking step in the right direction. What do you say? I don't know what happened. They said that whoever they talked to said they vouched for me. They said, hey, he's not causing any trouble. He's not doing anything wrong. Why are we doing this? Be undeniable. Fuck yeah, guys. Hell yeah. We did it, dude. That is fucking awesome.
Oh, look at that. He was getting emotional. Look at that. Jon's fucking awesome. What a guy. What a guy, man. This is what being a hero. Whoa. This is what being a hero looks like. I don't want to overstate it. But I mean, the guy put his ass on the line. He went out there and he fought the fight, took it to them, and they had to back down because they have the power, right? And so they can be petty with it. They have the voice, they have the power, they have the money, whatever. This one person, Jon Malin, against a corporation, right? C2E2 is a big organization. And so they realized they didn't have a leg to stand on. And they realized by Jon going there and doing what he did, that it probably wouldn't end there either, right? So let's just say Jon had to go. Jon had to leave. They forced him to. Then Jon might have grounds legally to sue them, because why did they kick him out? They gave him no reason. They would have to come up with something, and then they would have to furnish proof of what it was. And he didn't do anything. So therefore, they could get themselves in a serious legal situation. So they backed off. And so this is the bullshit that has to happen. It has, hopefully it doesn't come to any, because there's some people that go, oh, well, it is another civil war. Well, if you have people like Jon fighting the war, then, you know, we might be able to deal with this in a civil manner, because there are still civil people. There still are logic-based people. I don't think the majority of people are petty like the C2E2 people or some of these other people, like my neighbor. I think those are a small percentage of people. I don't think the majority of people are like that. But the majority of the people don't really have a voice. It's always like the one bad apple, right? It's always that one person that really wants it, that really won't back down, that's willing to take it to the extreme. And then the person that doesn't want to fight, that just wants to get along, has to, they're forced to. Either that or you conform. You conform or you stand up, right? So the reason I'm doing this show is because I just, I mean, Jon's a friend now, you know, like I kind of knew him before. Like he worked at Image Comics, and I knew him when he worked at Image Comics, but he wasn't this Jon Malin, right? I met him at the office there, and then he brought some proofs or something over from the Image office to Hack Shack Studios in Orange County when I had a studio in Orange County. And he came in, and he was definitely, you know, just comics. Like he just wanted to know, what is Hack Shack Studios? What are these guys? And he came in, hung out, and we had a good time, good conversation. To be honest, and this is sad, I didn't remember that same guy was this Jon Malin. Like he reminded me, because we met before, and I'm like, we did? He goes, yeah, I was this guy. I remember all that, but I didn't remember a name. And like I said, he wasn't this Jon Malin. He was, you know, like he was a younger, you know, Jon Malin. And just loved the comics industry, you know, just wanted to find out more, you know, what was the studio about, things like that, enthusiastic. And the industry just, you know, would have just destroyed him, would have just ate him up, spit him out. But he has a dig down, he has a fighter instinct, and wouldn't allow that to happen. So, you know, I'm real proud of the boy. I'm real proud of the boy. Went out there, went to the show, and kicked ass, man, kicked ass. So the good thing is we got a good resolution, right? I don't know if how far they're gonna take it after that, if they do, but it was a good resolution. You know, Jon got to stay there, got to hang out. CG, at least Jon Malin, was welcome at the show, welcome with some tension, but yeah, I mean, it's a win. Mange was on the prowl. I didn't see any of that. Somebody sent me the Jon Malin one. That's why I know about it. I kind of I stay out of certain affairs, and so I don't always like look for this stuff, because I don't want to be that guy. Like I'll fight when I have to, or I'll report when I need to. But some of the stuff is a little, I don't know, not worthy to get involved with. I think it is legal to block access to another wise to. Otherwise, too, I don't know what that. Maybe he's talking. Oh, Mange twerked for security. It really helped. So security went after Shane too. John voted for Obama twice. I voted for Obama once, I'll admit, but I did not vote for him the second time because after that, I saw him as a really divisive individual. I thought we could, and I wasn't, I mean, he was obviously the better statesman. You know, he looked good on the podium. He spoke well. He carried himself well. That's Obama. So that was the main thing. But then the cool side effect of that was like, well, he's a black gentleman, and maybe we could get past some of these racial relations stuff. You know, maybe we could finally go. You know, Martin Luther King's "I Had a Dream." You know, his vision was finally manifesting, right? So there were black children out there that could be inspired and know that it's a tangible goal, that you could be the president of the United States. You know, all that good positive stuff. And then, you know, the guy used his power to be divisive and to actually, as far as I'm concerned, do his best to just knock this country at least back to, you know, early race issues, which I thought we were, for the most part, past. And we're still seeing the effects of that guy's work. Thank you. I do my best. I try to be fair, you know. I think they're like that Wendy. Checkpoint says, no, they only like to maintain the appearance of equality and diversity. I think like Wendy, my neighbor, I think they sincerely believe it. I think there are those people that go along with it just so they can keep their jobs and stuff like that. But I think the main troublemakers, I think they really believe it. Like this, my neighbor Wendy, she said, I don't want any trouble. She says that to me, meaning I'm the troublemaker, right? We don't want any trouble. So, Art, you shut the fuck up and you give us your land. That's what she's saying to me. She's saying, don't be trouble, don't be a problem, and just let us walk all over you. That's exactly what the fuck she was saying. And she was completely sincere. She was sweet when she said it, but I think she absolutely in her mind thought I was the bad guy and that they were completely 100% right, without an arbitrator, without anything. They were completely right. So they were justified to do what they did, which was pretty extreme, right? What difference would it have made, this 5 by 15 or whatever? It was that way since they built these houses. It wouldn't have changed anything, right? But they just had to have that. And for whatever reason, they were going to die on that hill. And there are people that are like that. And so I think, you know, some of these people at C2E2, if John wasn't as cool as he was and didn't manage the situation to the point that he did, I think they would have pushed the extreme. I really do. I think the only reason they behaved nicely is because they were afraid of legal ramifications or bad press, which I don't think ultimately they were too concerned about. But they were convinced they're right, and I'm sure to this day they still feel the same way. They're just people that are wired like that. I'm not sure the wording of this. Yeah, but you done. Yeah, but have you done for the Fans Fest? Maybe that's what. Um, that's a lot of work, man. We're so busy trying to get our books done. It is crazy to put a show together. I mean, there are a lot of moving pieces. Oh, Jeff disagrees with the way Jon handled this. Jeff Potts, this is the wrong thing to do. He should have never volunteered any information. He should have asked specifically what the code of conduct he violated. Well, I think the proof was that they didn't have any. I think it's safe to say they didn't have anything. That's why it was dropped. So I think the same thing happened, Jeff. Like, I think the way Jon did it and the way it all played out, he didn't break any code, because if he did, they could have done whatever. They could have completely kicked him out, but they didn't. So I'm not sure of that. And I know what you're saying, and it could be a right way to deal with it, but I think sometimes there isn't just one way of handling things, that sometimes there are many different ways. So I still think Jon did pretty well, and this could have been another way of doing it. Well, no, I think he did ask. They said they didn't know. Jon asked. He said what did I what did he say? He said, what did I do or whatever? And then they said, we were just told to escort you out. They didn't know. So unless he was going to go higher up the food chain, he wasn't going to get an answer. They said they were just told to escort him out. So he did kind of ask that question. Yeah, I think there are a lot of bad things that are done. That's a pretty extreme case, but just following orders. And I do think a lot of people say just following orders because they're scared of the people that are giving the orders. Yeah, I hope not. I still have faith that, like Jon Malin and kind of the pushback that we're doing here, will send a strong message. And I said from the very beginning with CG, I just want some pushback, right? I don't like bullies. I don't like people that do this shit. You know, I've been on the other side of it, obviously, in California with the land, where people just push and push and push and push. And as long as you just keep backpedaling, they don't respect you. They don't respect what you stand for. They don't respect any of that stuff. They'll just keep pushing you, and they won't stop until you push back. So my thing was always just to try to push back, so it becomes harder, and that maybe, just maybe, things can go back to just like the way it was. Everybody didn't get along in the past, like Pamela said. That, you know, but we didn't do this. You just stay away from somebody you don't like. You know what I mean? But if that bully keeps coming back and you keep trying to move away from them or whatever and trying to keep the peace, and they keep pushing and keep pushing, at some point you have to push back, because that's the only thing that they're going to respect. They're not going to respect you because what you're doing is right, or that you're a human being and that they should kind of respect you and not try to destroy your career or whatever it is. You know, yeah, so you just kind of have to keep pushing. And the thing, this is, and anybody who's listening that is part of this cancel culture or is thinking of hurting me, listen, I have 40 years in this industry. You cannot take that away from me. You can't. Those books exist. I did the work. you know, you can't, you know, I'm part of this industry. You can't remove me from it. So maybe you could try. I'm not sure anybody has, but you can't do it. Right. So I have faith that that you could try to hurt me, and they have, but you can't take that away from me. I've had little things, like I had a convention, well, a few conventions planned, but one was kind of a vacation, you know, kind of convention in Hawaii. And I'm pretty sure that that guy had done some research later, after almost all the plans were made. And then he bowed out, and he said it was a financial concern. But I do think it was because he found out that I'm part of ComicsGate. And I don't know why anybody truly has a problem with ComicsGate. I don't like. I mean, there are some people that are a little bit more outspoken than I am, but I don't overly go after anybody or try. I really do just want to get along. But I do understand there are people that just aren't going to allow that, and that it takes two to tango. So I could want peace, but if they're not willing, then it's not going to happen. Security are not Nazis. They literally are told, hey, there is a problem, go deal with it. They went to deal with it, asked why Jon was a problem, and got the okay to leave him alone. Yeah, I think it is really that simple. I think that some of the, like the Nazi parallels and stuff, those are kind of exaggerated. But I understand, like, as a groundswell, these ideas are similar, right? That you could judge somebody, you could call them a witch, or you could say they're Jewish and that they're horrible people, and then you could try to condition people to then think about, I don't know, Jews or blacks or whoever, or conservatives, as bad people. And then you try to condition as many people as you can to think that, then you can do horrible things to those people, because they're not human anymore. They're monsters. They're horrible people, right? It's easier to hate somebody that's horrible than to get to know somebody and realize that they're just people. You know, they're not horrible. They just voted for somebody different than you. You know, I think I'm a pretty complex case. You know, I don't mind now saying I did vote for Obama the first term. I did think he was the best candidate at the time. At the time, I did see what he was up to. I did see what he was doing, but I didn't vote for him the second time, the second term. I did not. And at this point, I really despise the man. I think him and the people behind him are horrible, horrible human beings. They really do want to tear down race relations. They really do want to minimize America's influence, all these things. And I do think it's not due to, I think it's globalization. I think hands down, everything that's happening, all the extreme stuff, is globalization. They're trying to condition everybody into a one world way of thinking. Everybody's the same. Japan, China, Brazil, you know, Israel, you know, the States, Germany, you know, Great Britain, all those, they're all the same, right? So if they can kind of condition everybody to the same belief system, then they'll be fine. So they're using a socialist handbook to do this, but it's not just here, it's globally. And it's not just comic books, it's everything. So the thing that what kind of bugs me is that there are other people that support it and are willing to die on that hill. I understand why the powerful elites do it, right? Because there's something to gain. But I don't understand somebody that's like, yeah, let's get rid of you know, gasoline powered vehicles because electric vehicles are so much better. That's still up to for debate. I think there's pros and cons to both, but electric isn't hands down better. It just isn't. But they're willing to die on that hill, and that's just one example of it. You know, just crazy. I heard somebody say that earlier. I'm gonna see what you guys are saying. Can we stop with the Nazis and the oven nonsense already? I think because the other side uses it as well, and it's kind of an extreme. It's an extreme, and it's designed to kind of go right to the heart of the matter. And I understand it. I do understand it. I've said some of that stuff too, but in reality, it's not really there, but it has earmarks of it. There are similarities. Thanks for being the true blue CG art. You're welcome. I've said I'm going to retire here, you guys. I want CG strong, and my thing is I don't want it to just be about this. I would like to see, you know, everybody, at least for the most part, agree on comic books. We used to be able to do that. Like the one commonality with everybody was comic books in the comic industry, right? We all voted differently. We always have. This has always been. This isn't new. There's always been Republicans and Democrats. There's always been people that had alternate or varying points of view. There's always been people that had certain religions and people that hated those religions or vice versa. You know, like there's always been that. It's not any difference. The difference is the cancel part. The difference is the open discuss or for a certain group of people. I don't hate Democrats. I don't hate progressives. They're just people. If they come after me, they try to hurt me, they try to diminish what I've accomplished or what I want to accomplish, then we have problems, right? Or if there's friends of mine or something like that, then we have problems. But you stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine. No harm, no foul. Just don't get in my lane and don't try to hurt me, because then what else choice do I have? I have to defend myself, right? That's it. That's the way I look at it. And I'm going to be here till the end. I really don't have any, I mean, I'll do what I have to do to survive, right? So if I have no other options and I have to go back to Marvel or DC, you know, then I will. The way I look at it, I didn't burn any bridges. Marvel burned the bridges with me, but as far as I'm concerned, with DC, I have not. Am I happy with a lot of the books that they're doing? No, but they're not for me. Those books are not written for me. Those books are not created for me. They're created for somebody else, an imaginary, you know, fan base. But it's not me. I don't understand any of it. I don't understand why you would draw that line in the sand and you'd go, we're going to make books for this group of people, but not this group of people anymore. So this group of people, you need to get over it and stop being an Istanphobe and start getting with the program and start buying these books. It's a horrible way to sell something. Like, it's just horrible. I was in a band most of my youth, right? So the way we always looked at it was like, it's a party. TKO is going to play, right? It's a party. Everybody's welcome. We're all going to have a good time. We never said this group of people are going to have a good time. This group of people, you can go the fuck home. You can get the hell out of here because we hate you. We didn't do that. It's a party for everybody. Life is hard. Life is a bitch. But if you on the weekend could go to, I don't know, Gazzari's or whatever and see my band play and you could have a good time for an hour or so, then that's what it's all fucking about. That's what comics is about. It's escapism. Something we could agree on, right? Pick up a comic, have 20 minutes to a half hour of enjoyment, and move on, right? It's escapism. It's entertainment. That's it. It's not all this other shit. Why the fuck are you making it about that? Because we're not. Just to be clear, CG is not making it about that. CG is defending themselves against you, the people that are pushing. That's it. That's it. If you stop pushing, you stop doing that, CG will still be here. We'll still make books. We'll still hang out with you guys. You'll still do the best we can. We built this thing. We built CG, the publishing part of it. We're not going anywhere. I got pride, you know. we started this thing, you know. I don't want to leave. I like it. I like creating you know, books and stuff like that for you guys. I like hanging out with you guys. So even if this all this tension went away, this cancel culture, I'd still be here. Yeah. I don't know, man. I remember him, he kind of being this like wide-eyed guy that just wanted to learn what the comics industry was about. And to be honest, I mean, Jon still is that guy. But at some point, you got to kind of toughen up, and because you have to defend yourself. You know, like one of the hardest things for me, like being a parent, is you have this little child, right? They're innocent. They don't understand tension. They don't understand hate. They don't understand a lot of that stuff. And so then you put them out in the world. You send them off to school and play at the park and all these things. And then you kind of see reality creep into this little perfect world, and you see your kid being mistreated, things like that. And then you start asking yourself, why does it have to be this way? My kid isn't this way by nature. Goes to the schoolyard, somebody pushes her down, right? She's not that way, you know. But if she doesn't want to get pushed down again, she's got to learn how to deal with that kid. Either stay away from him, best him somehow. I don't know. There's varying ways of dealing with that. But everybody has to do these things. And it's horrible. You know, as a parent, you hate to see that. But at the same time, it is a horrible reality about human beings. And so they want a utopia. They want a perfect society. They want whatever. It's never going to happen. They're the living proof of it. You know, they're hypocrites every stretch of the way. We want acceptance. We accept everybody. You know, the more different you are, the better. You're a guy that wants to be a girl, welcome. You're this, you're that, you know, welcome. As long as you don't vote for Donald Trump, and as long as you're not conservative, you know, that's it. That's it. Why did Gina Carano get crucified? The one checkbox that she didn't check, right? She had everything else. She was a strong woman. She was all that, you know, all that stuff. I agree. I in my heart of hearts, I completely agree. I think Obama and his group, I don't think it was just him, like it was that whole side of the Republic or the Democratic Party that signed off on this. And I do think it's the global agenda. Because the thing is, the only thing that's stopping the full-on global agenda is the United States. I mean, Canada's fallen in line. You know, a lot of these countries are falling in line. Australia, you know, a lot of these countries are falling in line. Once America falls in line, it's going to be a global one world government, and that's it. Already borders, they're just words. They don't really exist. NAFTA, just to quickly, NAFTA was the beginning of the end. NAFTA started getting rid of the borders. You know, what is the American border? I don't know. What is it? You know. Also, why do you think, like, you know, we have people just coming over, and we said, well, you're welcome. You're welcome to come in. That's you're just not acknowledging that there is even a border anymore. That's like Mexico and the United States. It's one thing, right? There are no borders, you know. And the global agenda also realizes that they're going to have to destroy a lot for there to be full-on conformity. And so that's what's happening. So it's not just pushback in comics, it's pushback in every aspect. And I do think that freedom, the way I look at it is we got to live a long time with freedom, you know, when we were kids growing up until the last couple of years. And I know it's been a gradual, you know, a decline of our freedom, but now it's undeniable. It's undeniable that there are people that are trying to take that away. It's undeniable. So just like every generation in the past, you want your freedom, well, you may have to fight for it. You know, like with your little child in the schoolyard, you don't want it. You don't want it, but you don't want to be pushed down either. You know, you don't want to be bullied. You don't want to be told that men can be women and women can be men. You don't want to be told that. And then you don't want to be forced and called names if you don't agree. It's a crazy world. Let me see. There's a lot of people. Cool. I'm sorry. I'm kind of catching up with you in the chat. Yeah, it's an illusion. It's an illusion. But the thing is, there's power in it. There's power in telling you a lie. And if they can get you to believe that lie, there's power in it. And that's why they do it. They can't really defend it in a true and fair debate. They can't. But they can bully you into agreeing with it. And if they can bully enough people, and then they can stay that course long enough, that becomes the new reality. That's why this stuff has to be fought, and fought hard now. Otherwise, the longer it goes on, the more conformity there will be. That's cool. I don't even know what I am, to be honest. I'm just kind of this person that I think I have a pretty good moral sense, a good center. I do like fair play. I think that's why I like superhero comic books, because they're G versus E kind of storylines. The good guys are good, the bad guys are bad. I like Star Wars because it's pretty clear cut. You know, the first you know, story arc. Once again, Hollywood's just mucking up stuff with gray area. I like Star Wars because it wasn't that. You know, the heroes were white, the bad guys were black. You know, it was just a fun kind of G versus E story. And that is wish fulfillment. That's what people want. Reality is gray area. Who wants that? You go for escapism. You want to see the bad guys pay the price for being bad. That's it. That's it. You want to see the good guy get pushed, and you want to see the good guy fight back, because that's what you would like to do. You know, when you get bullied, if you can read a comic book and you can see the hero do these things, then I'm not saying that it's going to influence you or that you're going to go off and do that, but it's kind of fun to read, and that's why it's wish fulfillment. All good stories are wish fulfillment. There's some part of the human condition that gets fulfilled, right? So is Superman real? Well, no, but it's a fantasy. It's like he's this guy that can't be corrupted. He's this guy that will always do the right thing. And on some level, that's refreshing. I worked on those books. I heard all the arguments. They're like, he's not cool. People don't think he's cool. And I'm like, don't change Superman. Just change the world. Make the world cynical. make the world aggressive, make the world these things. And then we get to see how this hero reacts to those things. That's aspirational, right? No, they can't do that. They got to muck everything up. Let me see what Squibs says. ComicsGate should really band together and rent a place for a CG Con and invite small comic shops and dealers who are willing to attend. It's still in the plan. It's not on the plan. It's just a matter of just getting the stuff together, because running a convention is really monumental. I think if we could partner with somebody that we really trusted, it could work. And I think that it should be a real small get together, at least at first. I don't think we should try to be big. I think maybe a hall at a hotel that's willing to accommodate a con size hall worth of people. And so everybody can stay at the hotel. We can go to the show, have a good time. And then afterwards, the hotel bar is for everybody. And we all get to hang out, go out to dinner, come back, hang out at the bar, keep it small, keep it intimate. And everybody's still on board. They still want it to happen. Abstract, your abstract should have your plated, what is that? Plated dimensions? Platted? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Hey, don't get me going on taxes. Oh, you missed the rant. Hey, if you guys could thumb this video, please. And if you're so inclined, could you please tweet this out? Let people know we're here. I'm gonna shut this down pretty soon. But I just wanted to show off Jon's bravery. And if you don't think that was brave, shame on you. I mean, he took on C2E2, and I think he did a pretty good job. Ryan Blue Thunder, haha, Shane was in Mage all day Friday. We walked the entire floor a couple hours at the end of the day. Chatted comics, even ventured through Artist Alley. No issues, good times. It's awesome. That's the way it should be. I don't know what you're referring to, but I don't know. Something about a bag of cow shit makes me laugh. Hey, keep walking, buddy. Yeah, that's what they said to Jon. Let's see what this. Okay, a Necro, a Nexus, Foxfire for 5. Thanks for the super chat. Live in Australia, so have to sleep, but passing by to say hi. All woke activists and skinheads from the 90s. Just look at what happened with Stellar Blade. I'm not sure what that is a reference to. Thank you so much, though, for the support, and shout out to Australia. Jerry Roscoe, always good to see Jerry. Decades of giving children participation awards and telling them they are never really wrong has led us to adults who believe their feelings justify any actions. I don't know. Just to clarify, the participation awards. When I was a kid, they had those. They were stupid little awards that they gave to everybody, just for participating. And the thing is, maybe that went to some kids' heads, but to me, it was always a bullshit award. But I did get them, and I never put them on my shelf. They never meant anything to me. Like a third, second, first place award, that meant something to me because you worked for it. And I think I've always been wired like that. So even when I was young, so participation awards never made me think anything like I was the shit or gave me a false sense of ego. But I can see how they could. Let's see. A Dark Shadow Logan says, Jon did ask at first what he did wrong. Yeah, he did. Man, I'm way behind. Yeah, I think he got it out there, and also he's videotaping it for all of us so we could see, so people could understand the narrative. So he wasn't saying it just for their benefit, but he was saying it for everybody listening's benefit. It was good to narrate so people understood, and also so people couldn't really take anything out of context. Hey, thanks again for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Hell ComicsGate. Hashtag militia. What is that? Malin Ida? I don't know how to say that. Hi ComicsGate. I don't know how to say that. It's usually Malin Militia, but that's Maylita. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. John did it right. John did what we should all do in that situation. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I would have had the cool head that he did. Good. Malin Militia. Perfect. That's what I thought you were saying. No problem. And you didn't have to give me a super chat for that. You could just clarify it. I do appreciate it, though. Thank you. And let that be example to all of you. Super chat when you have a misspelling. Well, first super chat and then super chat if you misspell something. Follow the great example. Okay, let me try to catch up. No turning back, no return to the old days. Only way forward is something new. Yeah, sad. Yeah, no returning. I try to Pamela, my wife, and our daughter decided to stay in California, and so I keep my ear out, and so I keep track of like taxes in California, all the shenanigans, and I wish for the best for her, but it's hard. It's going to be hard for her staying in California. It's going to be hard for everybody moving forward, but it's really going to be hard for her. And yeah, I don't know what's going to come out of this new world agenda, but it's not going away. This globalization. But I think part of it is understanding and getting people to understand what's happening. The United States, America, it is going away. It is. That's not hyperbole. For the global agenda to continue, which is also fact. It might not be as like mustache twirling, whatever, but it has been on the move for a long time. And the reason I'm fairly sure that it is what's happening, because if you were a business person, right, and you were a business person in a small town, let's say you had I don't know, you were I don't know, I'm thinking ironworks, or you were a steel mill or something like that, and you were local to that area, right? So you built a town around the steel mill. You kept everybody employed. You had people come for work, that type of thing. Well, then you have that, but then you're still ambitious. So then you go maybe the next community over, or you start selling your wares to this person, that person. So the only way that you can grow is to leave that small town, right? So then you expand. So if you're a business person, the only way you can make more is to expand. So you go from a town to a city to a state to multiple states, a state to the whole union, the union to the world, to this country, that country, and then the world. So if you're a really ambitious business person and you have a lot of money and you have a lot of ambition that goes beyond any kind of sane or normal, way, there's only so many things to conquer, right? So you have to keep conquering new things, right? So it's a natural progression to an ambitious person that's not content and will never be content, right? They have to keep growing. If you don't grow, then you stagnate. If you stagnate, you die. You know, like all of this stuff. And so, you know, when I mentioned NAFTA, like I think that was a early warning sign that that's what people wanted to do. They didn't want the restrictions of a border anymore. They wanted to kind of break down borders so they could kind of wheel and deal with all these different countries. And then, you know, a progression of that idea. And then we're finally to a point where, you know, Charles Schwab, is that his name? And those people and you know, those people are in our government, they're in other governments and things as well. So it's just a natural progression to the point of just like this global world agenda. And now they don't even mind saying it. They're very open about it. So if you see things that are anti-American and you see a lot of this stuff, I think that's why. Because like I said earlier, I think America is the last. So if they can get us all to fall in line, then they have their global agenda without restrictions. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Yeah, wow, you're on fire, Gen X. Yes, it is. It is. But you learn how to deal with it. See, that's the thing. Like when we were young, well, at least my generation learned to deal with it, because even when we market and sell, we kind of put things in boxes. Like everything is segregated, you know, segregated, I should say. Everything is like that. So it is kind of human nature to kind of put things in this area or put things in this area, or you get along with these people, but you don't get along with these people. So there is that. Like even when you go to rent a movie in the past, there would be sections. There'd be horror, sci-fi, you know, drama, you know, whatever. So we naturally do that. Yes, John having the phone stream made a big difference in John's favor. Security tried twice to get him to shut it down. He told them he had concerned viewers. Yeah, of course they did. They don't want proof. And that benefits them. It benefits the show, you know, the people that are running the show. Squibs for $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I do agree that SJWs use Nazi tactics. Yeah, I think that there are similarities. You know, there's similarities to socialism, Marxism. But they're all designed to kind of tear down your freedom, your human desire to be free. I think there are some people that have a desire to be caged, but I think the majority of people, even if they think they want that or not sure, once they get caged, they just want to break free of it. So yeah, that's pretty good. They can't agree to disagree. Yeah, just disagree. You can even say what you want to yourself. Like I do that all the time. I go, that person's full of shit, you know, whatever. But I don't go up to that person and say, you're full of shit, you need to be canceled. You know, you just think it and you move on. Evidence makes everyone uncomfortable. The truth makes everyone uncomfortable. That's why a lot of these people don't want to get in debates. They don't want to talk about it because they know that the truth does not favor them. So they figure out tactics around it. So they do passive aggressive BS to try to tear you down. group behavior dynamics are real. Individualism is a fantasy. We should treat others justly, but we also can't be ignorant to the reality. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I remember when my daughter was young, and there was like this goth look, but it wasn't goth. What the hell? It's oh my gosh, I forget what they call it. It was kind of this depressing, I forget what it was called, but it was kind of an offshoot of goth, right? And so she's like, I want to be original. I want, oh, we were having a conversation about, like, I said, if you're going to dress like this, I said, there are going to be people that are going to make fun of you. And I said, so you're making a choice. So by dressing this way and going to school, you know that people are going to make fun of you. So I'm just giving you a heads up. So if this happens, it's not so much these people making fun of you that are the problem. They are, but you're doing something that you know they're going to make fun of you about. I said, you can do it, but just know that that's the reality. The reality is this is going to happen. And then she said, I just want to be original. I just want to be myself, right? And then I'm looking at all these other goth kids, right? I'm looking at all this goth music. I'm looking at all these goth clubs. I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, sweetie, you're not all that original. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right. Group behavior dynamics are real. So even when you think you're being original, or outside the box, most of the time you're not. Like comic books has always been kind of like a kind of an underground thing. The masses, at one point the masses accepted it and kind of, but at when I was young, got old enough to get into middle school and high school, it wasn't really accepted. And if you read comic books, you were identified as a nerd, and then they would probably beat you up. Yeah, there's a mentality, call it left or corrupt, that is looking to eliminate certain viewpoints from culture and politics. It's happening everywhere. Yeah, first you created an enemy, right? You create an enemy, and then you rally people around your cause. So the enemy is ComicsGate. They say it's the other way. They're like, ComicsGate came after us. ComicsGate. No, ComicsGate is a defense. ComicsGate is a safe haven against that. We didn't start the fire, as the Billy Joel song goes. It was always burning since the world's been turning. I was born in California. I was born and raised in California. And to be honest, when I was young, California was awesome. I lived about 45 minutes from the mountains and the ocean. So I could drive an hour in any direction, and I could hike in the mountains and walk in the streams, or I could go to the beach. It was pretty awesome. I lived poor, I lived in a bad neighborhood, but the people for the most part were open and nice. And coming to Texas, the Woodlands here, there are kids that are still playing. They play in the streets. They play in their neighborhoods. I hear people in their backyards having a good time. I hear children play. I smell barbecues. People are courteous. They probably don't all agree, but they're courteous. They seem to get along. And that's the way California used to be. So coming here was kind of like going back. But I'll tell you right now, everybody's like, oh, California is beautiful. There are parts of California that are beautiful. There are parts like where I live that was a shithole. It was a shithole. Where I live now, it's paradise. It's gorgeous here. So when I hear, oh, California, even the beach, like I lived as soon as I left my parents' house, I lived at the beach. I moved out, I went to Huntington Beach. I moved from Huntington Beach to Manhattan Beach. I moved from Manhattan Beach to Hermosa Beach. I moved from Hermosa Beach to Redondo Beach, where I bought a townhouse, a condo. And the beach is nice. A few blocks up from the beach is nice. As soon as you get past that, it's a shithole. It's graffiti, it's crap, it's not nice. It's just an urban jungle. So here, it's not the case. Yes, Tree Goblin. They want to end. Well, they're doing everything, because if they can't get the West, they're going to nick away at the West, but they're going to get these other more docile areas to conform. Because when they conform, there's even people in the United States that I've never heard this my whole life. They go, in Canada, they're doing it better. In this country, they're doing it better than the United States. It's like, really? I've never heard that until recently. So, but yeah, once the West falls, they'll have complete complacency. The force is going to have great impact on the weak-minded. Yes. Adventures in miniature gaming. I don't understand the thinking that every culture and country is the same, and we should have a unified world government ruling us. That's because you're an American. I don't know for sure if you're an American, but I don't really relate to it either, because I'm not a crazy, ambitious, driven person like that. I would never want to rule people. I would never want to make decisions for millions of people. I'm just not like that. But there are people that are, and they want to rule people. It's weird because, like there's the Robin Hood story, and you go, well, what's his name? King George or King John or whatever the hell, he was taxing people to the point of just poverty, right? Where they had nothing. I know it's not necessarily a real story, but those ideas have been played out in stories for forever, right? And so just bringing people to the point of collapse. Why? Why are there some people that are like that? Enough is never enough. They'll just keep going, because they're just petty. They can't be satiated. They're just driven beyond anything you could comprehend. And that's why they want to do it. They have egos that you will never be able to relate to, ever. I mean, if you think about just the sheer ego on somebody who'd want to be the president of the United States, to think that you, in a simplistic way, that you could make decisions that were the best decisions for 4 years for America, that you could do that. That is a huge ego. Let me see. There's a lot. There's some new faces. What are we talking about? We're talking about Jon Malin and C2E2. Yeah, there's a lot of people conforming, and I scratch my head all the time. Like, who are these people? These people that are falling in the line and pushing other people's agenda. Like, screw that. I'll think for myself, at least as much as I can. Let me see. Adventures in a miniature gaming. Our country isn't the way it is because some magical property of the location we are in. It's people make it that way. Yes. Let in enough people from other places and they will change it. I think I understand what you're saying. So the reason America, at least the idea of America being great, isn't some magical thing, location or whatever. It's the people that made it great, right? Their sacrifice, their fight, their desire to make something better, greater than themselves. And then this part, let in enough people from other places and they will change it. I'm not sure I understand that, because there have been a lot of people that came in and have changed it for the better. If you're talking about present day, I do think there are multiple things happening. Like I said, tear down the border. The border doesn't exist. One world government, right? I mean, it's symbolic if you think about it. Let everybody in, you know, Mexico, wherever. There's no difference. You know, it's all just one world kind of thing. So there's that symbolism that it's all the same. But then there's also have enough people that don't believe the way you believe. They don't believe America's great. They don't really want to conform. They don't want to be part of the melting pot. In my daughter's day, they couldn't call it melting pot anymore. It was a mosaic. Be part of the mosaic, right? So I guess melting pot was too aggressive. I don't know. Does make a good stew, but then we'd be cannibals. But yeah, I mean, difference of opinion, but you have to adhere to a dream, an idea, and be willing to fight for it. So if you just have people in that don't respect it and don't care about it, then it will change for the worse. But if you have people that come in here and believe in the American dream, and want to come in here and be part of it, contribute to it, that's all good, man. Oh my gosh, I don't know where you guys end. Let me see. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. You guys are on. Oh my gosh, I am really, really behind. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna move forward, I should say. Good morning and welcome to Hack Shack Studios. Mage is off the chain. Yeah, quote Captain America, when everyone is telling you that something is wrong, is something right, then the world is telling you to move. Your duty is to plant, be a tree, look them in the eye and say, no, you move. Ideology, belief, debate it. Whatever good ideas will rise to the surface. If you have two fair-minded people, I don't know, a Republican and a Democrat, and they get into a fair debate, then the best ideas should be used, right? Having two people that have difference of opinion isn't necessarily bad or wrong, but one party or one group of people that just want to destroy the other one and not listen to them, then that's bad. These people are human. They pay their taxes. They have every right. I've said it before. If the Democrats want to separate people by who they vote for, then you fucking only cash those checks the people that support you. If you want to be that down the line then you stop taking money from me. Then let me decide who I give my tax money to. Let me support the Republican Party, and let the Democrats support the Democratic Party. If you want to be so divisive and divisive about stuff, then every time you take money from me, you are not representing me. You are not representing my belief system. You're not even pretending to represent me. That's wrong. That's false pretenses. You're a criminal. You're stealing under false pretenses, and you're taking money from me. You're supposed to represent everybody, not just this group or not just that group. You're supposed to represent everybody. That's it. But you'll still take my money. You'll still take my money, won't you? Well, if I have a say, you shouldn't get my money. If you're slamming me and you're not representing me and you're making my world tougher than it needs to be, how expensive is it to do business today? It's crazy. It is crazy out there, right? Then don't take my money. You're a fraud. You're a hypocrite. You'll take everybody's money, but you only represent half the country. Well, the other half are you're still taking their money, aren't you? Yeah. That's my thing. I'm paying you to fuck me over. You're getting paid to make bad decisions on my behalf. Well, screw you. Let me see. Oh, is she doing better? Yeah, she fell down the stairs the other day. Yeah, she's doing a lot better. Yeah, she's doing a lot better. She squirmed. I put so much ice on her foot and leg. She was like, no, enough's enough. But man, you got to get that swelling down quickly. And we did. Casey says at least more people are aware of Soros, Rockefellers, BlackRock, and Gates now, a lot more than before. Yeah, and that's YouTubers. That's people getting things out there. It's all good. The only thing is that the mainstream media is kind of more left leaning. They have more control over the mass, I guess, media. Pedro says, I segregate myself. I don't ride buses. Pedro's a lone wolf. All right. Well, I'm going to start wrapping it up. Oh, emo. That's it. Yeah. That's what she said. She's emo. Those are the cutters, right? Those are the hardcores. Yeah, most modern business in America have been infiltrated by activists and not qualified business experts. Yeah, and like BlackRock and a lot of this ESG, that's how they're getting businesses to conform. I'm telling you, there is bullying happening on a global level. It's absolutely insane. Sleeping Psychopath, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Off topic, but I'm loving Black and White so far. A perfect blend of action and character building, and the art beautiful and packed with details. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. This is the book that Sleeping Psychopath is talking about. And thank you too for the super chat to tell me how great I am. Isn't the world is just so amazing. Thank you. And yeah, this book right here, in a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. So this was there was a little bit of psychology behind it. When I came up with that tagline, there was a trend in comics that was shifting over where there were gray area heroes. And there were some people, I think, like Frank Miller or Alan Moore, were writing complicated gray area characters, but there were fans of those ideas that didn't understand the subtleties that they were bringing to the material. So they were just kind of making gray area characters, you know, the ends justify the means kind of thing. So the tagline, in a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, is kind of what we're talking about. It's kind of like it's just a crap fest, you know, like true good, true evil. Like nowadays you can't even talk like that because it's corny or campy. But I always liked that, like I explained with Star Wars. And then there's this gray area. Ends justify the means, right? The character could do anything bad, like the Punisher, in the name of good. So then I thought, what if you had two characters that were the opposites of each other? What if you had one that represented like chaos and one that represented order? So Whitney's chaos, Reed is order. So black and white, yin yang, all those things. So in a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. So these two ideas meshing, once again, debate, what's the best idea? What's the best approach to overcoming this great evil? They debate. Sometimes her way is right. Sometimes his way is right. Sometimes a compromise between the two is the right way to go. You know what I mean? So mutual respect, things like that. That's kind of what black and white is at its core. The I guess the heady idea. So, and that was in '94 that I started seeing that. And so now, like, gray area is all we have. There aren't really any true heroes. There aren't even really any true villains anymore. Like, the heroes almost seem like villains. So I'm glad you liked the book Sleeping Psychopathy, and I appreciate the support and the super chat. That was very generous of you. Thank you. Oh, cool. Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man was a good book for sure. Man, am I behind? I can't. Oh, the Woodlands is really nice. I can't wait for art to develop the twang. Y'all, you know what I think is absolutely endearing is when they call you ma'am or sir. Well, they don't call me ma'am, but they call my wife ma'am. They call me sir. In California, when I grew up, it was sir and ma'am, but then somehow it became like a slur. It became like an insult. So you'd go, "Could you move your car, sir? Sir, you're in my way." You know, it became like that kind of thing. And it took me aback when I got here. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound good. But, you know, you realize it's just, they're just being respectful, you know, it's kind. And now I actually, it's endearing. I like to be, hey, sir, here's your food, sir. Enjoy, sir. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, Houston and Dallas. I know Austin for sure. The thing about Houston is in this area there is some pushback, but there was an election, and there was, I forget, it was like a more progressive bill that was being or tried to be passed. They wanted to do something with the Woodlands because the Woodlands is kind of its own entity now. It's not part of anything else. So they wanted it to be part of like Houston or something. So Houston would be, because we don't have our own police force and stuff like that. So we use other communities. And so they wanted to do something like that. I can't remember. It was years ago. But the Woodlands stood their ground and didn't vote it in. And so the Woodlands is still independent. And I hope it stays that way, you know, because for whatever reason, you know, because it's 50 years old now, it takes care of its own, and it's heightened living. It really is. Ryan Blue Thunder says, yep, the Woodlands is fantastic. I've been considering a move out of Inner Loop up that way. Yeah, it's really nice. Satan is going to Satan. Oh, my goodness. You guys are never going to let me go. I'm going to be here all day. Melting pot, yeah. Boy, am I behind. Hey, Luke, what's up, brother? Luke Stone Studios. Fund my comic. Go support him. Yes, I am. I'm trying to play catch up here. I don't want to like ignore any of you guys. So I'm kind of trying to find the highlights. Adventures. I like what Vivek says. I like, for the most part, I like Vivek as well. Talked about how the government is really run by the unelected bureaucrats that are completely insulated from voters and no longer represent the people. Global, once again, global. They represent those people. They don't care about us anymore because it's not about us. Government is not about us. There's illusions of it being about us, but it is not anymore. And I thought it was interesting. I can't remember the YouTuber, but he was talking about the way things used to work. And so there were bonds, like the government used bonds to pay for things. So if the government, and this is old government. So if the government wanted, I don't know, to fund a war or to go to war with somebody, they had to issue bonds, and they had to get so much money from the people to support the bonds so that they'd have money to do whatever it was. So if they wanted to, I don't know, build a park, they would issue bonds, and then people would put the money into the bonds. So what that was is like people were voting with their dollar. So the government couldn't just do what they wanted to do. They had to get a bond. They had to first get the bond approved, and then they had to bring it to the people, and then the people had to support the bond. And if they didn't, guess what? It didn't happen. So then somewhere along the line, the government did away with that. So they went to where they could just make decisions. And they were saying they were making decisions on the behalf of whatever. But as time goes, you see that getting bastardized more and more. And so now the people aren't even considered. They're just fundraisers. They just give us money blindly, and we spend it however we want, right? There's no responsibility, there's no care, there's nothing. If you think these guys care about America, then why are we trillions of dollars in debt? They do not care about America, because I don't know, if I care about something, I pay for it. I want to own it. I want to make sure I have no debt. I have pride. They have none of those things. Okay, so we're at a place now where they can just do whatever the hell they want, right? They can make decisions. They can fund those decisions. They can print more money. You know, they could go to print and print more money. Holy shit. You give anybody that kind of power, oh, they're going to abuse it. Like, there's no checks and balance. As soon as the government can print their own money, isn't it over? Like if you had somebody that the only way they can get out of their financial woes is to print more money, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to admit defeat. They're not going to let it collapse. They're just going to put more borrowed money into it, or some more, printed money into it. And that's where we're at now. It's crazy. So if they went back to like some kind of bond system, everything would change tomorrow. So they'd go, oh, America, we got bonds for the Ukraine. What do they call those wars? A proxy war. Then people go, well, you know what? We support it 100%. Here's your money. We don't approve it, so we're not going to give you money. And you can see what's working, what's not working, but you get to basically nix something with the money, unless they can figure out if they want it so bad they can figure out another way to fund it, then they're screwed. They can't do it, right? People spoke. So then if people didn't want the Ukraine war, they didn't give them money or didn't give them enough money, there wouldn't be that. It just wouldn't exist. So if we went back to that, I think things would change almost instantly. Because I was thinking about this. People say pay down the debt, pay off the debt. I came to the conclusion it will never happen. It can't happen. We are trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. How would it happen? How could you make more money to pay off this debt? So the way the government does business is by accruing, getting debt. That's how they do business. That's the only way they can conduct business, because they're not making money. The taxes are already spent. If they shut everything down tomorrow and they just start using every dollar that they bring in taxes to pay down their debt, I don't know how many decades or hundreds of years it would take to pay that off. You know what I mean? I don't think you could pay it off in any kind of timely fashion. It wouldn't happen in any of our lifetimes. And in the meantime, there could potentially be hardships, but I kind of don't think so. I think if we eradicated the government tomorrow, if they just went away, I think people would figure out how to govern themselves. And I guess we could keep paying the debt, or just, I don't know, just just fault on the payment. I don't know, but I do know when you're that far in debt, you can't get out. There's no way. There's no way they will ever get out of that debt. That debt will just go to the next generation, and so on and so forth, and it'll just get higher and higher and higher. There's no way. So the government's just throwing their hands. Like, you have generational government that are just like, this is the way you do things. So anybody out there that's thinking that the debt's going to be paid, it's not. It'll never happen. Oh my gosh. I just added a new topic to talk about. I agree. These are ideas that I've kind of played back and forth. I try not to play them up too much. Black and white is reality. There is good and evil. Convincing us of shades of gray is, I can't say that, relativist nonsense. There is an objective reality, and that is logos. There are reasons, there could be altruistic reasons that equal bad, or they could seem like evil. So there are shades of gray. There are things, there is objective truth, but I think there are shades of gray too. You could do something and thinking, like, what's that? The roads are paved to hell with good intentions or whatever. So I think you can do evil or think you're doing good, but you're doing evil, but that you're not truly evil. But what you just did is fucking evil. You know what I mean? There's also perceived evil, and there's perceived good. So I know that there are, this is weird, but there are objective truths. There are. And I'm not saying your truth or his truth, because it would still come back to the objective truth. But it's not all that crystal clear. There's intentions, there's motives, there's other things like that. That's why in a court of law, there's other things that you're judged on. And so there is this, whether you want to call it gray or you want to call it whatever, but it does exist, because things aren't always what they seem. Things aren't, like, you could seem like the biggest asshole in the world and you say things in a horrible way, but you could be the most sweetest, kindest human being. The truth is, the black and white truth is that you're a good person, but it can seem like you're bad, or that, you know, there is that kind of perception. Anyway, I do think that there is both. I think there is objective truth, black and white reality, and there is stuff that is a little bit more gray area. Yes, please push the like button. I like Dr. Carson as well. There's a lot of good candidates on the Republican side. There are none on the Democratic side. I'm sorry. I do try to be fair, and I try to expose myself to other. I try to take in other points of view, but I haven't seen any. And all I really do is hear, like, just corrupt points of view coming from the Democrats. Oh my God, let's not even get into that. Like I said, you guys, I really did open a can of worms. I say that all the time. Debt slavery is like another kind of slavery. Yeah. When every dollar you make goes to pay off something, then you don't have freedom, you know, because you don't have money to go be free. All you have money to do is to pay that debt. Yeah, the government will ride inflation forever. It's not going to go away, you guys. It really can't. Because also they don't want it to crash. Because I heard some economists talk, and they said the system would have to crash. So like the Great Depression, all that, the banks crashing, all that, it would have to happen for it to be rebuilt. And I don't have the answers, but I do know that debt will never be paid off. What he does is, Pamela's not home right now. He waits by the door for her. He is a very, very loyal little pooch. I knew it. I knew you guys would take advantage. Oh, I'm caught up. Wow, Gen X is on fire. It has to crash because it's fake. We have to go through the crucible. Sadly, yes. Sadly, yes. It's horrible, but I don't really see any other way. It's just perpetuating, like you say, fake. It's not real. It's an illusion. So it's not reality. And always, I think facing reality on reality's terms is ultimately the best. I understand most people not wanting to do that because it's painful, but we got to dig down. We got to be strong. And also, man, we owe it to all those people, all those founders, all those people that paid for freedom and paid for things in blood, sweat, belief. You know, I mean, we owe it. We owe it to our future generation. It's not going to happen, man. There's got to be some brave kids that step up, because we can point this stuff out, but it's not ultimately going to be my generation's fight. Truth, beauty, goodness, stick with these, and we can't go wrong. Yeah, respect. We get such sage wisdom from this young lad named Art. Thank you, Paulus. I appreciate it. Texas potatoes. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to do this because capitalism is real and capitalism is good, and we got to keep the lights on here at Hack Shack Studios. So, you guys, I want to thank everybody for supporting all the campaigns I've run in the past. Thanks for supporting my YouTube and all my social media. This bad boy is our next drop. We are going to be dropping Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too. This is my art book. We had a small print run a couple years back, completely sold out. These books, if you look at them on eBay, they are going for $90, $100, over $100. Those are the ones that have the dust jackets. I think the higher ones have the sketch in them. And this is a gorgeous book, if I do say so myself. It's a coffee table size, magazine size, and it's just beautifully done. I'm very, very proud of this book. Got some really nice illustrations in here. It's got like 40 years worth of stuff in here. Let me find something that stands out. Here's I think it's an Action cover, an Action Comics cover. I penciled and inked this a little bit before I left. So this was up to the anniversary. So I got to pencil and ink a Superman cover, and then you can't really tell, but those are all the prelims. So there's 3 doodles that weren't used, and then there's my rough pencils, and then my inks in here. So there's some behind the scenes work in progress pages as well. This one is the same. It's got some prelim stuff in there. So it's fun. I'm trying to find more of the color pages because the black and white ones just kind of bounce stuff back, but this one actually looks pretty good. So there's some commissions in here, pencils. There's some older stuff from the 90s. There's some of my IP stuff, Chrono Mechanics, some stuff, some working drawings, different things. So you guys, this is going to be the next book here. It's beautiful. It's hardbound. And what I would like to do is I believe this week we are going to do the pre-launch sign-up page, so we're going to be dropping that. And then next month we are going to go live with the Indiegogo campaign. And what I'd like to do with you guys is add to the book. So we'll create a CG version of the book, if you will. I'd like to do them in the form of stretch goals. So I'd like to do a new cover. So it'll be our book, right? This will be this version of the book. And I'd like to add at least 8 new pages. So I've been doing some commissions. And so a lot of them are CG characters. So I'm going to put some CG characters in, since when I did the book originally, CG didn't exist. So we'll get some CG stuff in there, and we'll make it a killer looking book. And hopefully we'll be able to do that with your support, because once again, the only reason this stuff exists is because of you guys. So so there you go. ComicsGate Kings tonight, as far as I know, yes. And thank you guys for last week. We did a black and white volume 2 Man vs. Machine closeout, and holy man, Ashevitz, did we do good. You guys came through with everything. The campaign is fulfilled. Everything's out except for a few of the commission tiers. So 3 of those commission tiers, I need to know what you guys want me to draw. And the other one is a big one, so we got to figure out how to pack it up and everything. And that will go out this week. And the 3 that are in question that I don't know what to draw yet, because you guys haven't told me, is we're going to ship those out regardless. So we're going to ship your order out, and then we're going to write a note in there for you to get a hold of me so I can draw your commission. So that's the way we're going to handle that. So if you guys did have a commission, let me know what character you want me to draw. This coming Saturday, I don't know. I'll see. I'll see if I can find something. Art by art. Oodles of doodles too. Oodles of doodles. All right, you guys. Well, this has been a blast. Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk about Jon Malin, and hopefully, you know, we can. I don't want to talk all heroically like we could win this this battle, this this culture war, but there definitely is something and that's happening, and hopefully we can just kind of push back enough that we could get some kind of mutual, I don't know, respect out of it, or at the very least we can both do our own thing and not try to hurt each other. But having said that, from my point of view, all the hurt's coming from the opposite direction. CG is just trying to defend itself. You know, sometimes it might be kind of preemptive or seem preemptive, but you know, it is what it is. All right, you guys. So hopefully there's a Kings tonight. So I'll see you tonight. I do believe that Bros is going to be kind of just a hangout. I think Graham Nolan is going to stay with his family. He's got his daughter coming in, and then of course Pontificators on Wednesday at 8 Eastern Standard Time. Last week was a blast. We had Mike. Oh my gosh. Mike Barron, and we had Kelsey Shannon, I'm getting tired, come in, and we talked about the new Nexus project and had a good time just talking about comic books. So that show's been going on for over 4 years now. So it's been a long, probably the longest running CG show out there. So, oh man, just got here. You're going to have to hit the replay. Lots of good stuff for you guys. And oh, Hill Fast. Yes, you guys. I'll tell her that you guys said so. And oh, Mike. I need your address. Hell Art got my books. They look good. I have to read them this weekend. I believe this is the same Mike Wilson that did a trading card that won the trading card art contest. I need your address because Pamela needs to know where to send. We're going to send you a stack of cards. So we're going to send you a stack of cards so you have those as your resume, because your resume should be on the back, or is on the back. All right. Oh yeah, it's the same one. So yeah, send me, message me your mailing address. And you guys, before you leave, thumbs up. If you haven't signed up for the channel, please do so. Subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.